This happens every week, so go to the chat room.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I understand. This ain't my first barbecue.
Yeah.
At least in the chat room, we know we have the questions.
Yeah, for some reason, some of the guys come through, and I think...
They get on the phone line, they stay on, and when it's time for them to pop up and talk, they're not ready to go, Percy. And you know in our business, when that red light comes on, you better have your ass ready to go.
I understand. Exactly.
If any of the fans do want to call in, you can call us on 805-727-7113. One of the questions that I've had in the chat room for Percy is what was inside the urn?
Nothing. What a disappointment, huh? What a disappointment. I freak people out. I get asked that question all the time, and I'm not going to say there never was anything in there, because back in the early days, we used to do a lot of ribbing and stuff, and there's been some different objects in there that we probably don't even want to get into, but basically nothing. It was always empty. And I can't even carry it now. When I go to independent shows, I have such a trouble with the airport with TSA. Carrying this, urn, this bronze urn. They just go nuts. So I really don't even carry it anymore. And I still have the original urn, the very first urn that I had that I used for all those years at the beginning. But I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but there's nothing in the urn. But I earn my living.
Percy, if that urn was left unattended in the locker room, there's no telling what might have been put in it.
Oh, and there's been some things put in it. And I'm not the angel. I'm not Saint Percy the Archangel for sure, because I played my share of ribs in my day too. But those were the good old days, and it was fun. And it's not like that no more. Like we were talking earlier, how things have changed, and. And in fact, before I got off on that tangent, I was starting to talk about my last 6 months run up there with Vince and WWE, and how different. What did I do? You get mad at me, hung up on me. Jeez.
Dadgummit, Percy, you know how this high-tech stuff is nowadays. I was telling the kids the other day when I did a seminar.
Okay, now we've lost Honky Tonk Man. This is going crazy. We seem to be dropping off people.
Oh, okay. Man.
Yeah, we're having a bit of a connection problem with the Blog Talk Radio tonight. We have a question.
It happens. It happens. It's modern technology.
We have a question from the chat room, Percy. They're asking what led to you returning to the WWE?
Well, to tell you the truth, I had no intentions whatever of going back to the WWE. I had pretty much, at that point in my life, that was right after my wife had passed away, and
are we
back
on?
We're back.
I think it's my dadgum cell phone that's causing the trouble, and I'm going to throw that SOB down the toilet here in a few minutes.
Yeah, that's why I had him call me on my house phone, because I was afraid that might happen to me too on my cell phone.
Well, I had this thing laying here, and somebody's been trying to call me, and when they try to call me on that Skype, now this Skype is a wonderful thing, but I guess it's cutting me off every time. And I don't know who's trying to call me, but by God, it better not be Vince McMahon. I'll be... he'll get an answer.
He was just asking me a question out of the chat room about why did I make my recent return to WWE, and I was starting to tell him is that I had no plans at all to return to the business at that level, no plans at all. And
right.
When they called me, which was it was about a year ago this time that I received, just totally out of the blue, my phone rang, I answered it, and it was a conference call with Michael Have and Stephanie McMahon and some of the other creative on the team, and they said, Percy, that we have an idea, and before we go any further with it, we wanted to know, do you have any interest in coming back to the company? And I swear, I didn't even take a breath. I said, nope. But they took a breath. You could hear them go, no! Like there's not a lot of folks that tell them no. And I had pretty much, and you can understand, Wayne, my wife had passed away, and I'd went through a lot of changes, and I had just put that up on the shelf, and I had no desire to go back on the road like that, especially a full-time schedule. So we kind of battered it around for at least a month. I mean, trading phone calls and emails a couple of times a week, and so they finally came up with a deal for me that kind of fit what I wanted to do, because I sure didn't want to go back full-time. So I made a deal with them to do television and pay-per-views only. And I wasn't going to do any, long tours, house shows, or anything like that, because a lot of the folks that watched the product at that time, they probably remember that Undertaker was going through a period where he had lost his power and everything, and so they needed Paul Bearer to come back with the urn and bring his power back. And so we did, and I had a blast. The 6 months run that I had this past year, it was even the part where Edge kidnapped me. A lot of people, they talk about that, and didn't you feel like that was disrespectful? Hell no, I didn't feel like it was disrespectful. I had a blast. We were having so much fun, especially going to the bank every week. I had a blast. It was great.
Well, that's the one thing. The Vince McMahon, his checks never bounce.
No, and like I said, he's always taken good care of me, and still does it. Like I swear, if I needed something right now, I could pick up the phone and call him. He's already been there for me. But then on the other hand, I'm not trying to blow smoke up anybody's butt. I'd done my job too. I was always there when they needed me, and I was always on time, and I thank God I didn't have a lot of the personal demons that a lot of guys had, and I did hang on to those Undertaker's coattails as tight as I could for a lot of years, but I knew my spot, and I was very satisfied doing what I'd done. I loved the character Paul Bearer, and I was blessed to be able to do it well. The chemistry between me and the Undertaker was a natural. We never had to sit around and worry about what we were going to do, what we were going to say. It was just a happening. It just happened, and it was all good. And right before we got disconnected there, I was saying the differences, between 20 years ago and today. 10 years ago when I was there, it was called sports entertainment. But no offense to the company, to Vince, or anybody there, it's certainly not sports entertainment anymore. It is strictly Hollywood, 100% Hollywood. It is not the professional wrestling that Honky Tonk and Bill Moody, Percy, Pringle, Paul Bearer grew up on, 30 years